good morning, world. Good morning to you all, and welcome to another episode of the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We thank you all for with us this morning, just in fun about the latest sports topics that have taken place. World, we are back like a shark attack, back like we left some, back like we ain't got no clothes on our back, and for the world, a better place when the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast is taking place. We thank you all for tuning in with us. It is always a blast to have you all tune in to participate with us every weekend. As a reminder that every week we always like to begin our podcast by reminding our audience that the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast can be found on Facebook via the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast community page, on Instagram at the Early Morning Sports Talk POD. Again, Instagram or on Instagram at the Early Morning Sports Talk POD, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify as the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast, as well as our own Facebook pages via Brandon Price, Jamar Goodman, and Jones, as well as our guest for this weekend, our brother who canceled on us. But we love you. We gonna holler at you another week. All right. Today is November 25th of 2023. And yes, y'all, we done seen another fascinating 2 days because we were on Thanksgiving morning, right, Jamar? And so we've seen another two fascinating days in the sports world since Thanksgiving morning, where we saw the Cowboys dominate former Chicago Bear great Ron Rivera's Washington Commanders, leading to strong speculation, everybody, about his future as this team's head coach. This team also, as of yesterday, fired former defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio, as well as his defensive backs coach. On the other hand, the 49ers look very dangerous. They look strong again, and highly primed themselves to again win the NFC West crown and just solidifying their position as a strong hold within the NFC and possibly just within the NFL in general. As well as questions now beginning, Jamar, to loom over Detroit, bro. After they survived our Chicago Bears thanks to Matt Eberflus last weekend, after giving up four offensive turnovers, but as well as pretty much y'all repeating the same against the Green Bay Packers Thursday afternoon. But this time, playing a better football team, in my opinion, and they fell short. They repeated the same things against Green Bay. And now, questions begin to loom over Detroit. Do the Detroit Lions have offensive line problems, or is it just Garrett Goff? And so, if you guys watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. And so, introducing my brother from another mother, and one of my partners here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, Mr. Jamar Goodman. Good morning, sir. Good morning, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, Brandon. I'm doing pretty good. How's everything?
Pretty good, bro. Them leftovers on point.
Facts.
Yes,
Facts.
them leftovers are indeed on point. And so, bro, with that being said, let's get right into it. We are having a miscellaneous sports conversation this morning. And I'm going to get some of my tags in as well. And so, just curious, bro. We watched some Thanksgiving games. Um, we watched some NBA games. Just a miscellaneous conversation, bro. We talking about whatever we want to at this point. Until we get into our NFL reactions and overreactions. And honestly, Jamar, this might give it a chance for the viewers to come in too. So, what do you want to talk about, bro, at this point?
Let's start with the Thanksgiving slate of NFL games.
Okay.
And so, I guess the first game, the Packers and Lions. Like we both picked the Lions. We did not see Green Bay going into Detroit and not only winning, but pretty much they dominated that game. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, we did not see that coming. Based on how for the most part Detroit has looked stellar this year, and at home they usually pretty good. But shout out to Matt LaFleur for coaching that excellent game. Constant pressure on Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, like the offensive line there is a little questionable. nowadays for Detroit. Just leave you scratching your head a little bit. Like, okay, like is this the Lions team that that we known to historically, as in when it's all said and done, they're just gonna come back down to earth, or
Mm.
it's just a blemish in the road here, and they're gonna shake themselves off and continue the Dan Campbell grit era here and just keep it moving. But I mean, nevertheless, I mean Jordan Love, he actually played a great game. Rashard Gray for the Packers defensive end, he was stellar. Christian Watson, he finally had a sight here. He made some big plays for the Packers. I mean, the Packers offense is definitely a lot more, I think, balanced and has a higher ceiling when Christian Watson is out there doing his thing and taking the top off the defense
Mm-hmm.
for Green Bay. So that I do give them credit for. This Jaden Reed kid has been stellar for the Packers as of late. When you couple them two with Romeo Dobbs, I mean, you have a solid group there. You do.
They do.
And the fact that they still doing their thing without Aaron Jones, they just plug and play here. AJ Dillon, I mean, he getting elusive for his size at 250 pounds out here, hurdling and stuff. I'm like, okay, big fella, I see you, and still got the speed there. But yeah, Green Bay doing the thing. The one thing I will say about the Lions, though, I feel like their play calling at times
Mm-hmm.
is, has me scratching my head as well. Sometimes it's like
But how they seem to be quite innovative.
they do, but it's like against the Pack, it's like there's no way that they should have been down 20-6, in the first quarter and stuff, and then turnover after turnover. They turned Jared Goff into Buddy from Malibu's Most Wanted. That's who we dressed up as Halloween a few years ago. Is the main character from that. So that's the person that kept sticking in my head. Like you really are that guy right now. So, I don't know. It's like the Lions got too many weapons on offense to be looking that stagnant. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
With that, what do you think about this game, man?
So for me, it was surprising to see what happened, but in a way, not really, Jamar. Let's think about this for a second. Let me get that tag in. So, Detroit barely survived the Bears. And no disrespect. I mean, I love my Bears. To our one viewer this morning, good morning to you. The Bears are our hearts, okay? But the Bears are not a good football team. And so it's just not a coincidence, Jamar, that 2 weeks in a row, you have pretty much the same story against, okay, yeah, they rivals in your division. They might know you well, etc. But my biggest thing is, even amongst them being rivals, these are two bad, let's say, football teams. I could say Green Bay is a team that's on the progress. And so this is another thing I want to point out. I fell off the Jordan Love train because for some reason, I wanted to use the excuse that, yes, this is a very young football team. Keep in mind, y'all, the Green Bay Packers is a very young football team. This team could very well have a nice future here, okay? But it all depends on love. It depends on the love that Jordan Love makes on the football field. Once again, I repeat, it depends on the love that Jordan Love makes on the football field. When he plays a good football game and the receivers are touching the ball, Jamar, and he's not overthrowing them, the Packers are a really good football team. They actually can move the ball. But when he's overthrowing, he's throwing bad, which he tends to do a lot, right? I mean, he tends to do this a lot, bro. Like he throws bad passes where they should be catching the ball, and it's just like you look at it and you say, "Oh, rookie mistake." He's made a lot of rookie mistakes. But the story I take from this is, yes, Detroit, they kind of looking suspect on the offensive line. But I take from this a growing that is growing into the quarterback that I think he could potentially be, which is I'm not going to say he's going to be great, Jamar, but I'm saying he could be a very good quarterback. He could be a decent quarterback. He could be a starting quarterback to where there won't be questions about, okay, are we going to bench him? Are we going to look to the future? I don't think he's that bad. I think he's good enough, Jamar, to where he can be in that boat of Kirk Cousins, to where he can be in the boat possibly of a ceiling of a Dak Prescott, to where he's going to be a good football player for this team and have this team somewhere in the mix because of his play. If he don't play well, they won't be in the mix. But if he does play well, they can be in the mix. That's my thing about Jordan Love. That's my thing about this game. Yeah. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning.
Morning, bro. How are you?
Morning.
I'm good.
Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving to y'all too.
Yeah, bro. We was talking about just miscellaneous conversation. And so Jamar brought up the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers game. And so we was just giving our thoughts from the game. I stated that, the one thing I took away was Jordan Love being who I think he could be. I told, Jamar that I fell off the train. I told our one viewer that I fell off the train. But I said that depending upon how he played, this is how far the Packers go. When he's not overthrowing the ball, when he's not missing easy passes, when the receivers are connected with him and he's hitting his guys, the Packers could be a decent football team. I stated his ceiling could be somewhere Dak Prescott. He could be somewhere in the Kirk Cousins, to where at least he's good enough to where you don't have questions about another draft pick or taking another quarterback, etc. But instead, you got a quarterback that could be your future. That's just the ceiling, I think, for him. Could it be higher? Possibly. Jamar pointed out the offensive line problems for Detroit, and the fact that they're not blocking for Jared Goff and that he's running for his life back there, etc. And etc. So, just curious, bro. Jump in this miscellaneous combo. What do you think from the Thanksgiving slate of games? What do you think from that Detroit Green Bay game, etc.?
I think Detroit. I think they got a lot to prove. I think that a lot of times they beat the teams they're supposed to beat. I mean, realistically, they should be on the 2-game losing streak, but that's another convo for another day. I mean, they're talented. They'll win a division for sure. They'll run away with their division. I just think they need to beat some the good teams. They beating who they supposed to beat right now.
Right.
You said run away with the division.
They should.
They should.
They
3 weeks ago, I would agree, but
yeah,
somehow, some way, I feel like Minnesota can catch them.
Yeah,
they got 6 more games, and the Minnesota got us Monday night, y'all. So it seems like we know who Jamar's picking already.
And I mean, Green Bay with that win the other day. I mean, they kind of right back in the mix. They put together a couple wins and
they can be in the mix too. They 5-6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Minnesota only 6-5.
Yeah, you look up and they'll be right back in the mix. So
yeah. One game I also want to point out, fellas, with this miscellaneous combo is the Cowboys. Cowboys tend to look so good, y'all, against the bad teams. And my thing with the Cowboys is I just need to see them do it against good teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, they play San Francisco, right? Somebody put the best football team in Chicago is Mount Carmel. Good morning, Prescott JB. It's good to have you back, bro. Man, we missed you. Where the hell you been? Man, where you been? Where you been, Prescott JB? Happy Thanksgiving, bro. We miss you, man. And so, yeah. Best football team. Do y'all agree? I damn near almost agree.
Yeah, they play for the state champion. They play for the state championship today at 4. That's crazy.
I bet they do. Do. They always do. But when we was there, we gave excuse my French, We gave their asses a hard time, didn't we? In Mount Carmel and just run through Morgan Park. No, sir.
No, I mean they just didn't run through them this year either. They put up
I
a
know they
pretty
didn't.
decent
Uh-uh.
fight.
We gave them a game. We gave them a
Yeah,
game. But we beat them at when we played. We beat them.
yeah.
You know? Yeah. And so, um, you know, Frank Lenny, I remember that name from our legendary coach, Jamar. He always be like that goddamn Frank Lenny. And so yeah, man, those are the days. And so anywho, just with Dallas, I need to see them do it against a good team. You know, that's just my thing, Jamar. Like they go out, you know, and shout out to Bland, y'all. This kid done
Yeah,
step
Deron
up for
Bland.
Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Like he done set a record. This is his 5th pick 6. You know, like, and he definitely a Pro Bowler. He probably in the nod for Defensive Player of the Year, DPOY.
Yeah,
And
that's what
it's
I was
crazy.
saying.
It'll be like this will be what the second Cowboy and the no wait who got it last year, Makai?
No, not last year. I think it was
Okay,
TJ Watt.
I know
think.
Trayvon Diggs got it 2 years ago. Makai was a candidate for sure, right? I mean, it's Makai Parsons.
I think
I
he
don't.
got defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah,
Okay, Makai got defensive rookie of the year.
and I think
You got that kid. Who got it
what's
last
his
year,
name?
y'all? Nick Bosa.
Oh, Nick Bosa. Okay.
It was Bosa
Yeah,
from San
Diggs.
Francisco.
I think
Yeah,
won defensive rookie
right,
of the
Makai.
year.
Yeah. He was just a high, let's say, popular pick prior to the season. That makes sense. But yeah, you know, Bland on the opposite side. Just show you just how deep their secondary room is. You still got Stephon Gilmore there.
Yep.
And so like that's my thing. They go out and whoop the hell out of the Commanders. I just need to see them do it, y'all, against some real squads.
I don't think we're gonna see that.
You don't think so?
Nah, I mean
So
that's
they good.
pretty.
They good from
That's pretty.
September through December.
I mean that's pretty much been a MO for the last couple years. They play good against pretty much the garbage teams. Play against a good team, they're like a totally different team. I mean, look at game 1 against the Jets. They're like they were gonna win the Super Bowl. Came
Yeah,
out,
the
beat them
Giants. You
40 to
mean the
0.
Giants and the Jets? They played the Jets week
Oh
3.
yeah, the Giants.
Yeah,
Yep, they came out, beat them 40 to 0.
and played the
They had
Jets
about
week
three.
2.
They had like 3 defensive touchdowns.
Hell yeah, Makai Parsons
Man.
doing all type of what do you call that? The monkey, you know, like when you walk
Hmm.
on the ground, the monkey walk.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, he doing all that, man. And they come back and whoop the Jets with Disney Channel quarterback the next week. Then
They ain't
you
played
know,
good. And Tony Pollard just scored recently since the week 1 last
Yep,
week.
which is wild. But how I view them is, they it's like they're a bully, right? They bully the bad teams. But
Hmm.
remember this? Switch gears to the basketball. Like several years ago. Remember the clip of Zach Randolph when he was telling what was it, Julius Randle or somebody? He was like, "Where I'm from, bullies get bullied."
Bully too. Yep.
right?
So I mean, when they go against the big dogs like the Niners, who bullied the mess out of them,
Or
told them it's a
Philly.
different class.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they hung around Philly, but still Philly is
Yeah.
on a different level. But I mean, we're gonna see though. We're gonna see because the remaining schedule is they're at home against Seattle on Thursday night football coming up.
Yep. This comes Thursday. Yeah.
And then you got the Eagles afterwards. Then you at Buffalo. Whatever you feel about the Bills is whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're on the road against Miami. So I feel like Miami and Dallas are pretty similar to where they whoop
Yes.
up on the bad teams.
Yep.
But
On the
when it
bad
comes to-
teams.
so I'm very intrigued to see that matchup. And then after that, they're at home against Detroit. So at that point, I probably know what type of Detroit team that we're gonna see. And then you're on the road to finish off the season at the Commanders. So I mean, for Dallas, we'll see. But can we talk about the other team in that game yesterday, the Commanders, real quick?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you stated at the beginning of the show, Jack Del Rio, he's gone, defensive coordinator. They just kicked him to the curve. I personally, I think that's a ploy for Ron Rivera to try to show that he has some value
Right.
to this franchise because the writing is on the wall. Like with him, surprisingly enough, the writing is on the wall with Eric Bieniemy.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically new ownership here, so Magic Johnson probably gonna be like, yeah, all y'all got to go at the end of the year if something doesn't change. But it's kind of like catch-22 is. I mean, this is kind of what happens to your defense when you trade away like your two best, edge rushers at the trade deadline. So what else do you expect? With a
Right.
secondary that was already suspect to begin with, so you got no pressure there. They're just gonna get gashed.
Yeah.
But um, but I mean, I will say this: the one bright spot I will say is
Sam
Sam
Howell.
Howell. He like overall, he's not terrible. He's
Mhm.
not. I mean, he's not elite, but he's not terrible. He's okay. And that offense, even with the enemy, I mean, at times it's like I seen them put up points. It's like so that team is confusing for me, but at the end of the day, I think River will run might be up out of there real quick because their next game is against Miami. So good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. And it'll be tough for me to see that just as a Bears fan and just seeing him be a head coach for so long in Washington. You know what I'm saying, y'all, and be a head coach in Carolina prior to. Um, like he been one of the good staples of head coaches that's had a job, every year, for quite some years. And it's good to just see somebody from that 85 Bears team still relevant and, just out here. So it'd be a little tough to see him go, but yeah, you're right, man. Washington, that bright spot is Sam Howell for sure, for sure. Um, Want to talk about quickly, y'all, just with the miscellaneous convo. Quick NBA. So I just want to give a quick shout out to the Orlando Magic, y'all. They second in the East, 11-5.
Huh?
I know, right?
Yep.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
The
man.
Orlando Magic.
Yeah, Paulo Banchero grew up quickly.
That's all right.
I
That's
know,
all right.
I know, right? Like,
One game out the top spot. Ain't that something?
mm-hmm. Yep,
6 game winning streak. Sheesh.
yep. They. I'm sitting there like, okay, like y'all beat up on the Bulls. Okay, it's the Bulls, but then they go out and beat the Lakers. They go out and, beat a few good teams. I'm like, all right, okay, they might be, they might be serious. And so, yeah, shout out to them. And on the other hand, man, the Clippers, man, they go out and they get stumped against the Pelicans. It's tale of two tales there. It shows me the Pelicans are a different team when Zion's on the court. They could be a team that could really wreak. I'm telling you, it could wreak some. But on the other hand, they are a different team when he's not on the court. Um, but they are a dangerous team when he's on the court. And so, and also, I want to point out the Clippers. Russell Westbrook, y'all, 3 points last night. 3 points. Kawhi, he did his thing. Paul George was all right. James Harden, nothing. Um, Not that it's early, it's early. They still got time, but um, yeah. Oh, this hopefully it works out for the Clippers. It gotta work out. I mean, you got all these good players on paper, right?
I
Man,
mean, I don't really think it's gonna work out because I think, with the addition of James Harden, I really believe that they kind of messed up the chemistry of that team. And it kind of diminishes Russell Westbrook role.
Mm-hmm.
I think Russ he was a great fit, and with the Clippers, and now it's like it's not starting no more, which is cool, but you know, on that team he found his role. He had a rough time in LA, and it's been a rough couple years for Russ. So I feel like with the Lakers, I should say, and so he go across the hall to the Clippers, and it seemed like a perfect fit. And now they bring in James Harden, and now it's like I don't know. I don't know the trajectory of the team where they're going, and because any of the three could get hurt besides Russ. I feel like one of them or two of them gonna get hurt, and then they're gonna need to stand on Russ, and Russ gonna be one of the lone. I mean, that's basically what happened last year,
Right.
and
Right.
he's gonna be the only one out there. So
Mm.
I felt like they didn't really need James Harden, but
Man, that trade was so stupid to me, and I'm pretty much said my piece before on it, but I would say this much: it feels. I feel like if they was able to like, red shirt James Harden until somebody get hurt, that'd be great. Because like Ian stated, like the chemistry part, man, like what they had prior to. That's the reason why I picked them, like as a team that I like, to make a run for it because it fit seamlessly. Like Ian stated, he came across the hall. It was probably like a breath of fresh air for that man, and he played like it. It was like the missing offensive punch that they needed, the tenacity, the heart, the passion, the love for the game, and then you bring in somebody that's the polar opposite. That basically said, "I am the system." So how many systems do you have over there? You think that's gonna work? It's like downloading a whole bunch of antivirus on your computer. You think your computer's gonna be fine? That doesn't work that way. Like, no. Like,
yeah.
no, that's not the trade they should have made. And I don't know who signed off on that deal, but man, y'all pretty much just kicked yourselves in the foot. But can we, as far as the NBA, I just want to mention the top seeds in the West. This is a breath of fresh air to me. You got the Timberwolves, the number one team in the West, the conference, 11-4 in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Edwards, that dog, and
That's
you got
Michael Jordan Jr.
I mean,
He reminded me of him and almost, yep, like his son almost.
Like
his
same makeup, personality.
Like aggression. Man,
I feel like he might be a little more cut than Mike, maybe, but I mean they very similar. I think he's 6'6" as well. I mean, they're just very similar.
Yeah, right. He just, if Ant's game just get polished a little bit more, it's a wrap. I really feel like it's a wrap. And remember last year how we talked about like the matchup problem with the Timberwolves can oppose to other teams in the playoffs and stuff. And we somewhat saw that with the Nuggets in the first round too. They, did their thing.
They was the only team that gave the Nuggets really a problem in the playoffs last year.
That's facts. And now you add in the seamless fit with Mike Conley there, and and it seems like these towers, I ain't calling them twin towers. They more so like I don't know, two little silos on the farm towers, but no, but they doing their thing though. They're doing their thing. So I think that team is dangerous, and then you got the Thunder, who's 11-4. Like just to allow me to reintroduce myself, Mr. Chet Holmgren here, who's
they didn't grow up. They grew up,
and of course, him and SGA and maybe not Giddey, but I don't even know y'all want to talk about that or not right now. That's a whole
man. Minor. Oh man, you can look at his face and tell that he was damn near guilty. Just almost, it looked like it. Now you can read somebody's face and you can look at language, and you look at his face and he kind of almost told a story, Jamar. Almost, he ain't had no comment or nothing, but. That would suck, man, because I like his game too, bro. I really do. I like Josh Giddey game. I'm like, that boy can hoop. Like, he can hoop. I'm like, OKC got some hoopers. But outside of just Giddey, it's some other dudes. The dude with the ponytail with like the braids dropping threes. I'm talking about
that Dort
buckets. Not Dort. It's another one. It's two other ones. Williams and another cat. We go to the roster. Like these dudes dropping buckets for the okay, okay. And you know, SGA got to do his thing, but he really don't, Jamar. I kid you not, bro. He don't. He mess around, be MVP, okay, for the season. But
Yeah.
you know, like when it comes to like the rest of his squad, they can go out and beat good teams without him, bro. I promise you they can.
I'm with you on that, and you know, especially if you know Giddy is around, I'm gonna leave.
Right.
That's the
If
last time
he's
I'll say
around,
that one.
that's important for them.
But I really believe when Chet Holmgren is on the floor, it just takes this team like ceiling to a whole nother level because the things that he's able to do, it just takes so much pressure off everybody else, and everybody just playing with confidence and free flowing and just like it's a very young, exciting team to watch. And then all the assets that they have at their disposal, they what's crazy about it, they have so many draft picks that like everybody on this team is like, if you think about it, they're playing for their jobs
Yeah,
because you
literally.
have so many draft picks that one of these draft picks could replace you if they keep them, or you part of trade bait. So it's like they have an extra incentive to go out there and just hoop, and I think that's what you're seeing, and it's all part of the same timeline. So yeah, Sam Presti may have not got it right before prematurely, but I mean, if he takes his time and do this one right, this one here, ooh-wee.
This could turn out to be very good. This is factual, bro. Simply because we gonna see a 30 for 30. Top three viewers, we gonna see a 30 for 30, y'all, years down the road with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, and even a young Reggie Jackson on that team. We gonna see a 30 for 30. It's evident it's gonna happen because of just thinking what could that team could have been if he would have kept them together. Now they cleaned house, you know. Now they got a bunch of young talent in there, and so Keontae Johnson, bro, Isaiah Joe, y'all don't know their names, but I promise you, once this squad get to the playoffs, if they remain healthy, y'all gonna know these dudes' names. Jalen Williams, number 8. That's the dude with the little ponytail. I mean, he remind you of a Hooper Jamar on at the YMCA that just run straight down the court and he just be, you know, running with the point guard. And as soon as the point guard see him to the right, he just let it go go right back down. That's exactly what he reminded me of. Giving me nightmares from the church league I played in a few years ago, where the dude, like Steph Curry, I had to trail him. We lost him by 1 point because I was just dreaming about sticking him the whole time. And I made sure when we played him, Jamar, I'm like, I'm going to sick you everywhere. And I got out the game. As soon as I got out the game, he went crazy. I'm like, and so, yeah, this is who Jalen Williams remind me of. Just a nice sharpshooter, somebody that can go off, somebody that can get you a lot of buckets, a lot of points. And you don't know these kids' names yet, but you will know their name very, very soon. Yeah.
Boy, team is
Yeah.
loaded.
Yeah. Another team I want to point out quickly before we move on, y'all, is the Pacers. How about them putting up 157?
In
Number one
regulation, though,
ranked offense from basketball.
not even in overtime. I
Not
seen the
even in
scores
overtime.
like that's crazy. I'm like, this ain't even an overtime game. I'm like, that's wild. But Halliburton, he the real deal, man. He the real deal. If I'm somebody else, I try to get him up out of Indiana, man. He a real deal.
Yeah. We talked about this trade with Jamal always said with Sacramento and Indiana and how this trade done worked out for both teams. And
It truly
Tyrese
has.
Halliburton, yeah, he proved himself to be an MVP candidate.
And what sucks about it, if we like somehow bring this back to a Chicago team, you know, Halliburton went 5th in that draft when we took Patrick Williams at 4.
Right.
Whew.
Always Chicago. Always. So sick of both of them. I'm so sick of them.
FYI, y'all, you talking about the Bulls and the Bears.
Hey, I'm glad you didn't recognize him McCaskey that day, bro.
Man, Yeah, you know what? The second time I did, it's crazy. The second time I did, but the first time I know I did it, the engineer I was working with, he actually told me. But I seen him again though. He was leaving. He was walking out the building. So I popped him beside his head. What the hell y'all doing up there? Got got these good people spending their good hard earned money to come see some BS, man. This is crazy. But to be honest, like to switch gears a little bit, to be honest, like uh Martellus Bennett said, I've been saying it for years, and I mean he right. The Bears are not going to be good. I mean, to be honest, either of the Chicago teams not going to be good because they keep living off the past. Like the Bears, they keep living off the 85 Bears, this mantra, the 85 Bears, the monsters of the Midway, the defense, and while that's good and dandy, we've had some nice defenses since then. Football has evolved about three, four, five times, and we still, on this same 85 Bears mess. And it's like the game has passed us on. They still living off that, still trying to sell that. But the problem is we're so loyal as a city. We keep going to the games, keep selling out the games, we keep buying jerseys, the hats, everything. We gonna stay faithful. Because that's what kind of city we are. We gonna talk shit about them, but every week, every Sunday, just like Monday, I'm gonna watch them Monday. I'm talking about them like a dog, 6 days out the week. But if Sunday or Monday come on, I'm gonna turn them on, and I think that's the issue. And like I was telling my father the other day, I said, well, we really need to Chicago really just needs to boycott. They need to not go to one of them games or a couple games out the year and be like, no, until y'all change some things or do something. But I mean, it ain't gonna happen. The people, we gonna still go down that tailgate, get drunk, just to watch them get blew out by the Blue Jays. So
Right.
it's the same. But even with the Bulls, now the Bulls have been more relevant. Um, in the last couple of years, we had an MVP in Derrick Rose. We've been to the playoffs. I'm one in the East. Even I'm one in the East with this current team. Before Alonzo got hurt, but I feel like it's just kind of the same thing with them a little bit. They're still living off Michael Jordan and them six championships and another team. I think the Bulls probably got like, and I think it's always gonna be that way. Probably got like the top selling merchandise in the league, and we ain't even good.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because overseas.
Yeah, a lot of that because of OC, because Michael Jordan still selling jerseys, and it's
Yes.
the colorway red and black. It's kind of like a classic. We just got like those classic, logos. Even with the White Sox, like I said the same thing about the White Sox.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a Chicago thing, man. I don't know.
Right.
It's such a beautiful city, and we just, oh man, the teams, it don't even make sense. It don't make sense, man.
Right.
It really
But
don't.
when you talk about that merchandise over here, man, Michael Jordan is king, y'all. Like
Yep.
throughout France, I mean, it's bull stuff everywhere. No disrespect to none of the other
Anybody.
greats in the league, but
Yeah.
Jordan Steele, and then after that, you might see a little bit of Kobe, a little bit, but it's a
Yeah.
lot of Jordan, a lot. And so, I definitely feel you, bro. Daniel Jones got on here and stated the same thing, tomorrow, if you remember a while back. And
Mm.
so, yeah. We'll see how that progresses because sometimes you gotta let teams know, hey man, you gotta get together. On the other hand,
Yep.
fellas, let's move on to NFL reactions and overreactions, Week 12 edition. And so, fellas, is it an overreaction to think that after Thursday's impressive win over Thursday's impressive win over the Washington Commanders, that the Dallas Cowboys are actually built for a Super Bowl run? Or was this just perhaps another impressive win over a bad football team in which the Cowboys tend to dominate and always make themselves look good? And so, again, is it an overreaction to think that after Thursday's impressive win, that the Dallas Cowboys this time might actually be built for a Super Bowl run? Or is this something we just said here?
I mean, it's the same old story, bro. For
Oh
now,
yeah.
and until you prove otherwise, until you actually, not get punched in the mouth by the Niners or the Eagles at that point, because that's basically the path to the Super Bowl for the Cowboys, right? Like, they haven't been to an NFC Championship game in what now, 27 years, 28 years, or something like that.
Yeah,
Ain't won a
96.
Super Bowls since, I was probably in kindergarten or something. I don't know. It's been forever. And so, like, in all seriousness, like we mentioned about 15, 20 minutes ago, like, they just bully the little teams until, the bigger bully comes around and knocks them across the head. So, until then, yeah, I'm gonna say it's overreaction until I see otherwise. You don't have to show me something.
Right. Yeah. And what you think, bro?
Overreaction. I mean, we see this every year with these guys. I mean, they have like we were just stating, they got an awesome roster. They play like a Super Bowl champion against, teams, basically they're supposed to beat. They play bully ball against them, they play against the upper echelon teams, and they play average. They can't run the ball. Dak throwing the seven, turn over the ball. Can't nobody catch the ball. They can't cover no more. They play somebody, that they're just clearly better than. They're like a damn Pro Bowl team. So, no, it's overreaction.
Yeah. Okay. So no reaction, fellas. I think that after the firing of of offensive coordinator Matt Canada, that the Pittsburgh Steelers are in danger headed into the final month of this season, or could it be the opposite? But is
Yeah,
there
I'm
no
gonna say
reaction to think that they are in potential danger, Johan?
no. I'm gonna say it's not an over. Well, are they? No, I say it's overreaction because if anything, um, they can't get any worse offensively than what they have been with the
Yeah.
guys. So, um, all the Steelers fans that I know, the day that this happened, they basically said Christmas came early. They basically was screaming hallelujah, thank you Jesus, and everything else. Because at one point in time, I was thinking like, man, does Matt Canada hold blackmail over Mike Tomlin or something? Like, how you still have a job based on how anemic that offense has been? So now, I guess first things first, can Kenny Pickett throw over 200 yards this upcoming week? Can he throw for 200? Can he throw for 2 touchdowns? Because I don't even think has he even had a multiple touchdown game, passing
I
touchdown
don't
game in
think
his
so. I
career?
can't remember.
I
No,
don't
Yeah,
think so.
it's been
at all.
running the ball. It's been one
Well,
touchdown. It's been defense.
yeah, maybe he's only thrown two in a game, or I don't think he's thrown three. It's one of them, but no, it's a very telling stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that C.J. Stroud has had better stats in his career than Kenny Pickett already, that's alarming within itself. So, Kenny Pickett, like, there's no more excuses for you now, buddy. Yeah, you can't blame Matt Canada no more. Let's
Nope,
see what
not at
happens.
all.
Right. And I hope that them wide receivers continue to catch them balls in because Frisman is the offensive he's the wide receivers coach in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Did they upgrade him to the offensive
Offensive coordinator,
coordinator?
I already checked. I checked. No, but it's another we talked about this Thursday, me and Jamar. They brought two brothers. It's two brothers that's gonna be doing play calling for them, but it's
Okay.
not Frisman. But I love how Mike Tomlin keep brothers promoted within that organization. I love that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. So yeah. All right, fellas, let's progress. Is it an overreaction to think that if the Bears lose Monday night to the Minnesota Vikings, that this team should consider tanking and begin rooting for the Carolina Panthers to continue losing in pursuit of obtaining the number one overall draft pick? And if they continue to lose, to get a high draft pick as well. Is this an overreaction that if they lose Monday night?
So this question has layers, but it all boils down to what Kevin Warren wants to do. Kevin Warren is the one in charge. Kevin Warren probably for the most part got his mind made up of how this, when it's all said and done on Black Monday, what's happening with this organization. So
Hmm.
if I'm, Eberflus, I'm trying to win as many games as I can to show that, like Ron Rivera, trying to show my worth here, which is probably already, that's probably already dead and gone and over with. polls. I'm pretty sure for the most part, he wants to see his team win games based on the moves that he's made, especially at the trade deadline with Sweat's so far so good as far as his impact for the team, in my opinion. But nevertheless, it's all up to what Kevin Warren wants to do here. Like when it's all said and done, he's about to lay the hammer down. He's gonna shake things up. And the rumblings I keep hearing more and more that it's probably gonna be an overhaul at some point in time when it's all said and done. So I know it was overreaction. Not I don't know. I just know it's whatever Kevin Warren wants to do.
Right. Okay. And so this goes additionally for you, Ian. If the Bears lose Monday against the Vikings, should you consider just tanking for the rest of the season? Let Justin, let him not potentially injure himself. Root for the Carolina Panthers because if they lose, you get the number 1 pick anyway. And then if you continue to lose, then you can get another half draft pick as well. And so is it an overreaction to think that the Bears, if they lose Monday night, should consider tanking?
No, it's not an overreaction. I mean, I don't know what the hell they've been doing, tanking or I don't know. They just been losing, so at this point, it don't matter what they do. They're gonna have 2 top 5 picks, probably 1 and 2, more than likely, and we'll just go from there. But no, it's not an overreaction, and they'll probably lose Monday night again. They'll find a way to lose probably, and I think if Kevin Warren is going to do what I hope he's going to do, just need to clean house. He should have cleaned house a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time to just clean the house.
Okay.
It's becoming an embarrassment as an organization, not even just the team. It's just becoming an embarrassment across sports and his. I mean, we just looked at it as a big joke. Great city and just a joke. It's time to clean house. So no, not an overreaction.
Yes, be in prayer for the Bears, y'all. All right.
They don't need more than that.
A cleansing, a revival,
And a
exorcism, baptism,
Bruh.
Holy Spirit shaking.
I'm telling you.
Holy water.
Get them some eternal water, eternal life.
You, man,
the fountain of youth, though.
Yeah, man, they gonna need a lot, man. They gonna need a lot, and so
I'm gonna watch it Monday though.
Right, exactly. I am too. And so, fellas, is it an overreaction to think that after yesterday's loss to the Miami Dolphins, that Aaron Rodgers, he stated he could potentially return in December, should just consider sitting out for the rest of the season?
It's not an overreaction for him to just sit out because like at what point, like if they're out of contention at that point, then it's like there's no point. There's no point of rushing back to play meaningless games, and then you get hurt again. Yeah. But I will say this, even though our Disney Channel quarterback star got canceled, it's not, as you can see, it's not just him. It is not that. If you watch Hard Knocks, they talked about that offensive line on that show and how bad it's been, and it's really showed its ugly head yesterday. In that game, like even though Boyle ain't the greatest thing since sliced bread either, but they actually protected for him. Maybe the Jets actually had some more points on that in that game. So yeah, it's not an overreaction, man. Like he just needs to cool out. Jets not doing him any favors right now at all.
Right, that's a really good point because they offense. And we talk about the Steelers. The Jets clearly got the worst offense in football. Through their first 10 games, I believe, fellas, they scored 7 touchdowns in their first 10 games, and the Dolphins scored 10 touchdowns in one game.
They did.
That's how bad their offense was.
That's
The
messed up.
offense was so bad that they threw an interception at the end of the first half. Okay, and the Dolphins
A
ran it
Hail
back for
Mary,
a
yeah.
touchdown. That's just highly embarrassing. The Jets defense go out, do what they do, right? Go get a pick six, right? And boom, you down 10-0. Now you in the game because of a pick six, because of your great defense. Then the Jets come right back the next damn possession like some idiots. Throw an interception, and then not only do that, allow him to return it 101
Dude,
yards.
like all the skill
At the
players
end of the
was
first
like
half.
all the skill players was in the end zone on the ground. So the only skill player, I mean, really left was Brees Hall. He met past him, and then it was just Boyle. Like he just had
Right.
him like just
Bull saying, I ain't finna get knocked out.
dude, yeah, that
I mean, that's pathetic. That's bad. That's a really bad offense. And so yeah, and what's your thoughts, bro? Should Aaron Rodgers just consider sitting out for the rest of the season? Jamar brought up the offensive line. I bring up their terrible offense. You 4-7. You ain't going to the playoffs. You know, what's
Yeah,
your
I agree. I think he should. I think he should shut it down. Now, with him, standing up, throwing the ball, and things of that nature, I would like to see him play just to kind of pull it off. It'd kind of be like almost like a miracle. You don't see nobody coming back from a torn Achilles in a matter of what, 4 to 5 months. Impossible. Like we've seen, especially being he's a little older. We've seen basketball players not be the same, and football players not be the same, and come back, the next year. But within 4 to 5, maybe 6, yeah, like 4 to 5 months. No, that's like insane. Granted, he doesn't, at his position, he won't be having to, run around a lot, but like a skill position player would. But that's still impressive to even attempt to try to come back from a torn Achilles tendon. Man, I mean, I would want to see it for that magnitude, but I
facts.
mean, I don't think it's worth it. Especially with the direction of the team. They not gonna make the playoffs, and yeah, just shut it down. Try to come back next year, healthy, and
right,
try to make one run at another championship. The
right,
team
right, right. But
team
fix the
is,
offensive line first. Yeah.
yeah, fix the O line, and try to make a run at the championship next year. The team is the defense is ready, offense has weapons, so the only thing that's kind of struggling is the O line.
Yep, O line and a good quarterback. Even C.J. Mosley said it yesterday in the interview prior to the game. He even was talking about the quarterback situation. He was honest about it too. So they know what's going on. They players be acting like they don't know what's be going on, what people be saying. They know. They know.
Yeah, they know for
Oh
They
sure.
yeah,
know.
they
Yeah.
just can't speak their mind like they want to a lot of times, but they know.
Exactly. And so yeah. And lastly, fellas, is it an overreaction to think that after Tom Brady's comments this past week on the Stephen A. Smith show regarding too much protection of the NFL quarterback and how soft the league has gotten, that the NFL immediately on Monday morning will seriously go back to the drawing board to at least consider going back to old-fashioned football again, just because Tom Brady said it? Is this an overreaction, Jamal?
I think it is. Now, granted, like what Tom Brady says, a lot of times holds some weight because of who he is and his, contribution to the game of football and all the rule changes that they made to protect him in that position. But because of him and all the rules to protect the faces of the NFL, which are the quarterbacks. Uh, and yeah, I'm holding somebody hostage, but needless to say, like no, like they're not gonna do that. Like the NFL has progressively moved away from from those type of hits and impact on the game, so they can continue to market the brands and the faces of the NFL, which are the quarterback position. So yeah, anytime that you have the Joe Burrows of the world go out and that's not playing, if Mahomes was ever missed time and things like that to a significant injury based on like rules within the game that needs to be addressed, you don't think they're not going to readdress it again? So therefore, yeah, it's a softer game, especially when Tom Brady started in the league to now. It's night and day with a lot of stuff. The hits that you probably seen Ray Lewis do back then are probably super illegal now. Rodney Harrison, like all those guys, but no, they're not going to change and go back to that. They're protecting their bottom line, and to do so, you got to keep players upright. So that's what it is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, Ian, what do you think, bro? Do you think since Tom Brady spoke to the NFL immediately on Monday morning, said, "Hey, damn it, Tom Brady said it. Let's go ahead and let's fix this." What do you think?
No, like Jamar stated, they're not gonna fix it. He's absolutely right. I agree with everything he's saying. You just can't really be that physical no more. I kind of feel bad for the defensive players. Um, and this is coming from somebody that used to play offense. Majority of my time playing football is it's just so totally different. Like even in a college game, like you see a player like Shiloh Sanders, he got throughout. I seen him get thrown out of a game for a clean hit. Shoulder, didn't hit him in the face. It wasn't no helmet use, and he still got through out. I mean, we
Happens
see
a
it
lot
in
now.
yeah, we're seeing running backs getting fined for lowering in their head, basically protecting themselves as running backs. That's insane to me. Like, I mean, at this point, I don't know what they want. I mean, I know you guys want a lot of people to, I mean, a lot of points being scored. I mean, if that's the case, you might as well just play 7-on-7 football.
Yep.
7-on-7 football, no offensive line,
Just change it to
and,
707.
and give them a rush count. At this point, I mean, if y'all want to see a lot of points or flag football with pads on, like, I mean, that's what it's turning into. It's like, how can I? And I don't really think they understand the difficulty of trying to redirect, how I'm going to hit somebody. I have to worry about how I'm going to hit somebody because I might get fined. This is ultimately my job, and I might lose a game paycheck because an offensive player he might do a certain move, and there's nothing I can
Nothing
stop
you
him
can
from
do.
doing. There's nothing
At
I can
all.
do.
You gonna let
And
him
how am
just
I
score
supposed
on
to?
you?
Yeah, I'm supposed to react. So
Lose
if
your
I lose
job because of
score,
that?
yeah, I can lose my job, or if I hit him the wrong way, I can get fined. It's I
Stupid.
mean, it's like what more do you want? So no,
Exactly.
I mean they're not they enjoy seeing the 30 point 40 point game. I mean I do too as well, but still let those guys play football. That's what we grew up on. That's not how we grew up. Learning how to play the game of football. I mean
Right.
maybe this new generation has, but I know guys of our age in the early 30s and early 20s. It's not how football
It's
has
not how
been
we
taught. It's
play. We
not how
played a
it's been played. Yeah,
physical game, a physical football game.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
very
So
physical.
it's
Head
tough,
knocking,
man.
head busting, man.
Especially seeing these guys get fined. I'm like, that's insane. Like we seen Jalen Warren get fined like 40,000 for lowering his head on a simple run play, going out of bounds, and his game paycheck is only 50,000. They
Bruh.
basically took his whole check. Like that's insane. If you didn't want to pay him that week, just say, well, we ain't feel like paying him this week.
Wow, absolutely
That's
crazy.
insane. Even JJ Watt was like, what are we doing here? Like this guy check is 50 to 60,000. Y'all find him 3/4 of his check. Hell, more than 3/4. That's pretty much the check. He probably just basically got the taxes. Like that's
Right,
ridiculous. Like come on, guys.
right. You got to
That's
consider the
ridiculous.
taxes too. No, you got to consider the taxes from the
Yeah,
check.
like that.
So
Yeah,
he
That's
probably took home 10 bands, bought him a nice little Chick-fil-A meal, and paid his rent, and that was probably it. Okay.
Now, granted,
Anyway,
I wish my check was 10 bands, but that's neither
boy,
here nor
boy.
there.
but
Whew.
once again, for an NFL player, man,
Yeah,
that ain't nothing
that's
for them,
crazy.
man. And so yeah, and we're gonna highlight that this week. You made a very good point, man. and bringing up this conversation because for me it irritates me honestly. It's too soft now. What can guys do? What can they really do? Like, come on, can we be real here? Like, you throwing guys out of the game. I remember that game with Shiloh Sanders. I watched it. I said, what can he do? What? Like, what the hell, you gonna let somebody just run past you and then your coach going, hey, you let him run right past, like, so it's like you kind of stuck between, two places here. Rock and a hard place is what they say. So it's like, what can you really do, man?
Bro, you can't hit low. You can't hit high. You can't hit them when they're quote unquote defenseless. It's like you got to time to hit perfectly. Oh, let me wait till he turns around, get his footing. All right, then you get like what? Like what?
Like got the first down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you done took advantage of you, took 10 yards out of the play. You're like, oh, he can go hit me. So it's like, crazy.
Either you let them play or cancel the whole sport. And I know you're not gonna cancel the whole sport because it generates too much money.
Too much money. Yep, too much.
Way too much.
So let them play.
We literally seen before we head on. We literally seen it's sort of like they pick and choose. So we literally seen Travis Hunter get cheap shotted,
bro,
out of bounds way after the play, after the ball hit the ground.
Yep.
And this guy didn't get through out. Shiloh makes a clean hit a couple weeks later, makes a clean hit, fumble, and he gets throughout the game. So I feel like a lot of times too, it's they call what they want to call.
Politics.
Yeah. A lot of the times, that's just it's not fair. It's not fair to the players. It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Right.
It's not fair to the fans, but it's really not fair to the players.
It's not facts. Nope. And so, fellas, that's a very spicy, good conversation, man. It's a real conversation. I feel it totally. We're going to highlight that this week because it's something that needs to be spoken on. And Tom Brady, for me, was telling the truth. Realistically, we don't think it might get changed, but it should be looked at. I miss the old football. I just do. Yeah. And so it's what you sign up for. It really is. Notable college football matchups this weekend. Oh, man, it's going to go down, y'all. Rivalry week. Yep. Rivalry week. This is the best time of the year. And so Jamar was talking about Ohio State. They've been talking about this for a while. Jamar in, but guess what? This week is
here. The big game.
It's here. 2 Michigan hosting 3 Ohio State. This is for the marbles. It's for the Big Ten championship. Whoever wins get they place. To play somebody from the West. And so this is a huge matchup. So whoever win this game put themselves in a very good position to get a good seeding for the college football playoff. Very good seeding. So yes, last night 16 Oregon State visited 6 Oregon. Bo Nix, Heisman watch. They on the mission. Oregon. They right there on the outside looking in. 10 Ole Miss survived Mississippi State. Thanksgiving night. That was a great game to watch. Auburn, Alabama, the best for me, man. One of the best rivals. And y'all know them schools only about an hour and a half away down in Alabama. Big game. My daddy's a Bama fan. My sister, she a Bears fan, but she's starting to like Auburn for some reason, and because she lived near Auburn, and so it's gonna be very interesting to watch that, man. Just a lot of memories from that game. Georgia Tech. Northwestern, Illinois, Wrigley Field, baby. Every year, Texas A&M, LSU, they right by each other down in the South. Purdue, Indiana. And so, yes, y'all get the point. It's rivalry week in college football. And so, yes, with that being said, we have no NFL Week 12 picks, but we're going to ask in. So what teams did you pick for NFL Week 12? I'm gonna give you a moment to just pull that up. And for me, my NFL Week 12 picks. I mean, is there any changes you want to make, Jamar?
No, nothing significant happened that I can see for me to change my picks.
Okay.
I know I picked the Thursday games. Let me see.
Yeah.
Right.
So you had
picked the Thursday games. I don't think you picked the Black Friday game, but
But I'm pretty sure if I had to take a guess, I know
Yeah, I would have picked Miami.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, of course. So we got a number of games tomorrow and Monday.
Yeah, I can run through them real quick. I mean,
Go
they're
ahead, run
pretty
through them,
much
bro.
kind of easy. What's the Bucks against the Colts? That's kind of a tough one. Yeah, I'll take the Bucks in that one.
Okay.
Giants and Patriots. That's a tough one too. Yeah.
It's an ugly one.
Yeah. I'll take the better coaching, I guess. I'll take the Patriots, I guess. Mm. No, you know what? No, I won't. They got 10 points. I'll take the Giants. I'll take the Giants. Bengals should win that one, but that's a rivalry game with the Steelers. I'll take the Titans. That's an ugly one too. Texans and Jaguars. This is a good one.
Sure.
I'm gonna go with CJ and the Texans. That's a good one though. I'll go
Absolutely.
with the Saints. You know I hate the Aints.
Hmm.
I'll go with Kyler against the Rams. I'll go with the Broncos. Broncos been playing pretty good lately.
Oh yes, sir. They turned it around.
Yeah. I'll go with the Eagles. I don't believe in the Bills. Going with the Chiefs, but the Raiders. That might be an upset game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders won that game.
I said that
I'm going with the upset.
that could be a setup game for the Chiefs again.
I'm gonna go with the upset. I think Antonio Pierce beat the Chiefs.
Ooh.
That might solidify him getting that job next year. I'm going with the Ravens. The Chargers are a shit show, and of course I'm going with the Vikings.
Right. And so you ain't picking the Bears this week.
I haven't picked. You notice I haven't picked the Bears in a long time. I haven't picked the Bears since earlier this year.
It's a joke.
Maybe
I haven't picked the Bears in a while either, man. I picked them maybe a few weeks ago. Then they lost, and then when I didn't pick them, they won.
That's okay. I'll be the lone wolf to pick the Bears.
It's crazy. What? So last week I was sitting here watching the game, and so my parents they wanted me to come over to their house. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna come over right after the game." So I was sitting here. My mom called me. She was like, "You over there going crazy about them Bears?" So I said, "No, I ain't." I said, "As long as Justin play good, I don't care what the Bears do." So I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought they was gonna win. You know how the game was going. I was like, okay.
We all thought they were gonna win.
I was like, man, Justin came back this week. I said, look at the offense. I said, man, maybe the Bears gonna win. But they came out. That bum number 33. I've been on his head for the last couple of weeks, and he's been proven why Ryan Poles don't need to pay him no $17 million a year.
Man, this dude had a pick six in his hands, bro.
Jalen Ramsey don't drop those. That's $17 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's like $17 million a year interception.
You see, he changed that
would have
whole
sealed
game
the game
last week.
That would have
changed
done
that
it.
whole game. Jalen Ramsey by himself. He won that game.
So then they gave up. He gave up. Him and Eddie Jackson gave up a touchdown to Jameson Williams. I said, "Oh, here we go." I said, "Here it come. Here we go."
Yep.
And so then they came out on offense. That one drive. Guess he called basically a perfect game last week, except that one drive. They came out and ran the ball 2 times in a row. I said, "Yep, Bears finna lose." I said, "Here we go." I said, "Here it come." Then that last drive, David Montgomery, he started running hard. And they ain't ran the ball good all game. I said, "Yep, here we go." I said, "They about to lose."
He trying to rub that in because that was a personal game for him. The Bears gave him his moment. I'm like, that's just so bad.
I mean, the Bears don't know how to win. They don't, and it was evident. And that goes to coaching.
Yep. So then we get the ball back. So then they called me. They're like, they're going crazy over the Bears. I said no. I said I knew that. I didn't even pick them to win it. I didn't pick them last week. I picked the Lions. So soon as I'm like, well, I'm about to leave. I said they about to lose anyway. Soon as the game go off, it says only 30 seconds left. Soon as I got off the phone, Darnell Wright got his ass whooped, fumble. I said, well, that's the game. Turn the TV off and left.
Yeah. Yep.
Man. So I'm not picking them. And I really thought, I just really, really thought, I didn't get excited. I didn't yell at the TV. I didn't do none of that. I just laid on the couch and I was just like, Then it started going downhill. I was like, yeah, they about to lose.
Yeah,
They about to lose.
sound about right, man. Sounds like a Bears team. Yeah.
So no, I won't be picking them for the rest of the year. So we
Okay.
can
I don't
Cancun.
blame
We can Cancun well, I don't know about Jamal. We can Cancun the Bears for the rest of the year.
you.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I seriously don't see them win. The way that they lost last week, seriously, I seriously don't see them winning the game. And they like we talked about a couple weeks ago, they could literally win like four out of or five out of the next six games, but losing the way that they did last week, man, to have a 12-point lead with 3 minutes left and still lose. I mean, Jesus
I
Christ.
know, bro. I know.
Yeah, not a good thing. And so, yeah. I feel you guys. I totally understand. And so, yeah. That being said, Andy, you got an ends basement this morning. You got something for us?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. So, with the holiday weekend, we've had a lot of football games in the past. What is you guys' favorite Thanksgiving, um, how can I say it? What's it? Thanksgiving performance. What's the best Thanksgiving performance? It could be basketball, but mainly probably football though. It's a lot of
Okay,
football
yeah, I
stuff on
definitely got a
Thanksgiving.
football moment.
Go ahead. You go first.
You go
Uh,
first, Brandon.
it goes back to Detroit. And so, not speaking of how bad Detroit has been during their last 7 outings on Thanksgiving, they've lost. But if you guys remember, Aaron Rodgers came up against Detroit and they were down. This had to be like 6, 7 years ago. They were down getting whooped against Detroit. And
Hmm.
Aaron Rodgers just came back, torched the Lions, like started torching them. And it was just like one of the most memorable games. And I remember him just eating the you know, big old turkey leg after the game. And I was just saying, like, wow, like that was a really nice moment from Aaron Rodgers. It might have been, I think he might have still had maybe Greg Jennings, or he might have had some different guys there.
Yeah.
But it was a while ago, some years back. But that's one of the most memorable. Another one might be Barry Sanders, man. I remember as a kid, my dad watching him go off on Thanksgiving against the Bears and the Packers, and just running all over the football field. I remember that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who you got, Jamal?
All right. So I'm gonna go something a little bit more recent because my memory with Thanksgiving games just isn't all the way there anymore. But this here was 3 years ago, and it's like I enjoy watching like the Cowboys taking
Okay, I
the
thought you
L.
was heading to the Cowboys because that'd be a good memory too. I remember one from the Cowboys too.
Remember them? This was in 2020.
Hmm.
And this is also the reason why I remember this because for fantasy implications, I just kept saying it to my brother-in-law, like I am so thankful for Antonio Gibson. I am so
Oh
thankful for
yeah.
Antonio. 3 touchdown game against the Cowboys, just demolished them. Like
In
and
Dallas. Yeah, I remember that.
136 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Just put I guess the last time these two teams played on Thanksgiving, it was the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's the one I remember that sticks out to me. I was so thankful
Hmm.
that day. So thankful.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I got two. Um the first one is Randy Moss rookie year against the Cowboys. Three
That was
catches,
on
three
Thanksgiving. I
touchdowns.
kept thinking
Against
about
Oh,
that.
Thanksgiving.
Was
I
that on
forgot.
Thanksgiving when Randy Moss went off against
I
Dallas?
forgot that was Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Mm.
3 catches, 3 touchdowns. Crazy. And then I just thought about the second one. I actually just watched highlights of it yesterday. Luke Kuechly and the Carolina Panthers against Dallas. What was that, 2015? I think Luke Kuechly had 2 interceptions and it was a blowout win. That was my boy Super Bowl year.
I was
So
gonna
yeah,
say that
those
was been MVP.
Right,
yeah,
that was MVP
yeah,
Cam Newton. That
yeah,
was
yeah,
Luke Kuechly prime.
yeah,
Hmm.
man. Great
Man,
player, man. I'm still pissed he just ended up
Walked up
retiring.
and left football out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, and you brought up Barry Sanders. That's a good segue. Barry Sanders has a great documentary on Amazon Prime. It's
Yeah,
a
you
great
do.
documentary.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's called I think it's Bye Bye Barry. It was great documentary. The his humility, man, is
I'm not.
unmatched. Like it's unmatched, bro. Like his humility is unmatched. It's
Yep.
it's almost it's almost like unreal. It's crazy. Such a great player, and I mean, he just didn't he didn't want to be in the spotlight. He didn't care about records. He literally just wanted to play football and just win, bro. You watch it, is very eye opening. But it's a pattern from when he was younger, and you'll see why you really wouldn't be surprised that he retired early. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep. Really good
Good document.
documentary. You're right, and it's called Bye
Yeah,
Bye
good document.
Barry, the
Yeah.
definitive story of Barry Sanders' Hall of Fame career and his extraordinary decision to walk away from the game in the prime of his career.
At 31, which is crazy. 31.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 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 And so, yes, fellas, it's now time for final thoughts and shout outs. I just want to let everybody know with God, all things are possible. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Continue to enjoy them leftovers because I'm hungry and I'm finna go get me a plate. Come on. Go ahead, bro. Nothing to say?
Cool. Me or Jamar?
Jamar, wait, Jamar
Oh,
is
sorry.
talking. We
Can you hear
can't
me?
hear.
Sorry,
Oh
hit
no,
the
we
mic
can
on,
hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
hit the mic on mute. So I am a little speechless because my final thought would be something on the negative side, and I ain't trying to have that right now. So basically, what Brandon said, I'll leave it at that.
uh, man, enjoy the holiday weekend. I don't know how the Black Friday sales is. I didn't even check it out. I'm trying to save a little money, so I was like, nah, I'm not I'm not gonna indulge this year. Yeah, man, just enjoy, be safe. It's a holiday weekend. Enjoy time with your families, kids, grandmas, grandpas, parents. Enjoy football today. Hopefully, my Ohio State Buckeyes get it done today. Tired of losing to these Wolverines.
Go
Got a good
blue.
chance. I mean, Jim Harbaugh not there. There's no excuse today, right? In no
Yeah, there's no
excuse.
excuse today. Yep, we on the road, but no excuse. And a lot of other rivalry games. You got the like you said, Auburn and Alabama. Oregon and Oregon State played last night. I was watching that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Rivalry week, so it's a lot of good football. We got football coming on Sunday. We almost closing out the NFL season. So man,
Sheesh.
it seemed like it just got here. It seemed like it just got here, but it's almost over. Still got basketball going on. We got the in-season tournament. I still don't know how the I don't know how the hell they doing it. I
Just,
just be looking at the standings
just
and
go with the flow,
whenever
bro.
they play. Yeah, man.
Just go
I'm
with the
trying to
flow.
still understand, how they scheduling it in between the season, and I don't know, but it's been kind of good though as of late. It's been good. So yeah, man. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Um yeah, man. Have fun and get some of that good Thanksgiving food.
Yes, get some of them good leftovers. So, where are we? Thank you all for tuning in with us this morning. For our viewers, we would like to say just thank you for chopping it up with us. Continue to chop it up with us. Support our podcast on various platforms. And if you all would love to talk sports with us on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we are here. We'll love to do so with you. Your love, support is truly appreciated, and we hope you all have a blessed and safe weekend. Peace.